Too late, Air India pilot's brother and Air India crash investigation. Top pilot's body calls out government.
तो ये मैं आपको दूसरा आश्वासन दिलाना चाहता हूं कि भारतीय सेना समय के साथ अपने आप को बदलती रहेगी और उभरती शक्ति में जो बदलाव लाने हैं उसको लाती रहेगी.
Grand display of military prowess and India's indigenous capabilities during Army Day parade in Jaipur. Bhairav Battalion makes debut. Two teen athletes found hanging in the SAI hostel and Kerala's Kollam probe launched. Getting some top updates coming in. EU leaders have been invited as the chief guests for the Republic Day parade this year. In a statement, MEA has said that at the invitation of the Honourable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, the President of the European Council, Mr. Antonio Santos da Costa, and the President of the European Commission, Ms. Ursula von der Leyen, will be on a state visit to India 25th to 27th January as a chief guest at the 77th Republic Day celebrations. During the visit, the leaders will also co-chair a 16 India EU summit on 27 Jan 2026. A huge update coming in, viewers of Republic TV. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa, the chief guests for India's Republic Day celebration. For the first time, EU's joint leadership is the guest. And I want to go across to our senior executive editor, Abhishek. We see that for the first time, EU's joint leadership will be the chief guest. And this is coming just before the India-EU summit, Abhishek.
Well, yes, the three-day visit of the EU leadership, remember, and this is coming just within a year because almost the entire set of EU commissioners led by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen were there last year also in the month of February, March. But that was not as chief guest for the Republic Day. This time it's happening on the 77th Republic Day as the chief guest. The two leaders would be sharing the dash with the President of India, President of the European Council, Antonio Santos da Costa, and the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. They would be here on 25th evening, 26th, all the ceremonial part of the Republic Day parade, where they would be accompanying the President of India with the President's bodyguard as chief guest from the Rashtrapati Bhavan to the parade venue, and then of course to Kartavya Path, that is, and then of course the rest of the evening that goes in state celebrations, including the at home of the President of India at Rashtrapati Bhavan. The next day, on 27th, is when the EU-India summit pans out, and it's likely that the EU-India free trade agreement would be signed. Remember, just a few days back, we had German Chancellor Friedrich Merz in India, and he mentioned how Germany so wants the free trade agreement to be signed quickly, and Germany being the biggest economy, this means that there is a pan-Europe understanding that an FTA with India is in the larger interest of the European community or the European economic community in the backdrop of the uncertainties and the tariff tantrums that not just Europe but the rest of the world is facing from President Donald Trump of the United States. So I think in that sense, this is going to be a very big and significant development. Europe essentially pivoting to India, and those kind of statements have already come in from the likes of Ursula von der Leyen, for example, earlier during earlier occasions. And now with this leadership coming in, it just sort of takes our strategic partnership that we have with the EU community to the next level.
Right. Well, thank you, Abhishek, for getting us all those details. The European Council President and Commission head to attend the Republic Day celebrations is something we're counting down to. We're getting some more updates coming in. Let's move ahead. And the Federation of Indian Pilots has issued a legal notice dated 11th January to the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau regarding the summoning of Captain Varun Anand in connection with the investigation of the Air India 171 crash. Notice states that Captain Varun Anand is a commercial pilot and the nephew of the deceased. A pilot in command, late Captain Sumit Sabharwal. It records that Captain Varun Anand had no association with the aircraft or the flight in question, including its planning, dispatch, operation, maintenance, certification, airworthiness, clearance, or crew composition. He was not present at the site of the accident and does not possess any factual, technical or operational knowledge relating to the circumstances of the accident. So there's a big mystery over why these summons were made. I'm being joined by a guest who's joining us. We have Wing Commander Pramod Malik, Wing Commodore, aviation expert joining us. Thank you for joining us here on Republic TV. And I want to ask you, do you think that the protest that we are seeing over the notice is justified? They are saying, the pilot's body is saying that this notice is not justified at all.
It is airport, the AIB, which is responsible for this, and they should have submitted the report, and they cannot behave like a court. Okay, they don't have authority of district court, high court or Supreme Court that they can summon anybody. Just because Captain Varun Anand is in aviation, so they can call and harass him. It's not done. They cannot ask his family members to participate until unless they have some kind of link which is established during the process of investigation. So first the AIB has to come out with the report. It has been 7 months since the crash happened. Where is the report?
Yes, absolutely. This has been asked again and again because they're saying that this move is wholly unwarranted and amounting to harassment. Captain Anand, I'm just telling our viewers, was serving an Air India pilot and FIP member and was informed by his employer about the summons to appear on Jan 15th. And the FIP has highlighted that the notice failed to specify the statutory basis, purpose or relevance in the summons or capacity in which Captain Anand is required to appear. So basically there's no clarity on why he is summoned, Wing Commander.
Yeah, there is no clarity. This is appears to be an eyewash and doing some kind of hodgepodge with the report, because the report has to come first and they cannot behave like a court. As I said, the report should have been in the public, and firstly the report which was leaked, the sensitive information which was leaked few months back, with that report in the public, this AIB should have been suspended. They should have formed a new AIB team. Because it is not understood by the public at large as to why that sensitive information was leaked selectively, which changes the course of the investigation.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us there, Wing Commander Pramod Malik, aviation expert on this story. We'll be coming back because we're still getting more updates on that developing story. Let's move ahead. We're getting some more breaking news coming in. And Mamata Banerjee has targeted the army this time. I'll just read out what Mamata Banerjee has said in the meanwhile as we get more information on this. She says, who is responsible for the border? The BSF, a central government. Who is responsible for coal? The CISF, the central government. Who arrives in planes? Outsiders. Who is responsible for that? Customs. Whose hands is that in? Aviation is in whose hands? So she's asking these questions. She says railways is in whose hands? All are under the central government. So what we see right now is Bengal CM Mamata's controversial remark has come in. Mamata Banerjee has targeted the army. It's a controversial remark that she has made. And she's insulted our forces, claiming army commandant doing SIR work. This is what she's saying. Mamata does not even spare forces, is accusing the army of doing SIR work. We also have that statement. Let's play it up.
বর্ডারের দায়িত্বে কে? বিএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। কয়লার দায়িত্বে কে? সিআইএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। প্লেনে কে আসছে বাইরের লোক, তার দায়িত্বে কে? কাস্টমস কার হাতে? এভিয়েশন কার হাতে? রেল কার হাতে? সব সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। সিআরপিএফ কার হাতে? সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আর্মিও তোমার হাতে, সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আমি জীবনে দেখিনি, এমনকি আমার কাছে একটা খবর এসছে, কদিন আগে আপনাদের সাংবাদিকদের আর্মি অফিস থেকে কাউকে ইনভাইট করা হয়েছিল জাস্ট টু টক। আমি এর মধ্যে কোনো ভুল দেখি না, আমি ওদের সম্মান করি, আমি সব ফোর্সকেই। কিন্তু একটা রিকোয়েস্ট করব, আমার কাছে খবর আছে ফোর্টিরিয়ামে একজন কমান্ড্যান্ট এসআইআর এর কাজ করছে এবং বিজেপি করছে, বসে পার্টি অফিসের কাজ করছেন। প্লিজ আপনাদের কাছে হাত জোর করে রিকোয়েস্ট করব, এটা করতে যাবেন না। যারা সত্যিকারের চোর ডাকাত, ধরুন কটা কেস হয়েছে বিজেপির, খুনি, ডাকাত, ধর্ষককারী, হত্যাকারী, হাওলাকারী, কটা কেস হয়েছে? বর্ডারের দায়িত্বে কে? বিএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। কয়লার দায়িত্বে কে? সিআইএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। প্লেনে কে আসছে বাইরের লোক, তার দায়িত্বে কে? কাস্টমস কার হাতে, এভিয়েশন কার হাতে, রেল কার হাতে? সব সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। সিআরপিএফ কার হাতে? সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আর্মিও তোমার হাতে, সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আমি জীবনে দেখিনি, এমনকি আমার কাছে একটা খবর এসছে, কদিন আগে আপনাদের সাংবাদিকদের আর্মি অফিস থেকে কাউকে কাউকে ইনভাইট করা হয়েছিল জাস্ট টু টক। আমি এর মধ্যে কোনো ভুল দেখি না, আমি ওদের সম্মান করি, আমি সব ফোর্সকেই। কিন্তু একটা রিকোয়েস্ট করব, আমার কাছে খবর আছে ফোর্ট উইলিয়ামে একজন কমান্ড্যান্ট এসআইআর এর কাজ করছে এবং বিজেপি করছে, বসে পার্টি অফিসের কাজ করছেন। প্লিজ আপনাদের কাছে হাত জোর করে রিকোয়েস্ট করব, এটা করতে যাবেন না। যারা সত্যিকারের চোর ডাকাত, ধরুন কটা কেস হয়েছে বিজেপির, খুনি, ডাকাত, ধর্ষককারী, হত্যাকারী, হাওলাকারী, কটা কেস হয়েছে?
Joining me is Priyanka Tibrewal, a BJP spokesperson. Priyanka Tibrewal, not the first time we have heard such a comment being made. Earlier Mamata Banerjee said that army is being used for political gains, and now she's accusing the army of doing SIR work.
See, whatever speech Mamata Banerjee has given right now, it reminds me of a proverb, as cunning as a fox. She is a very cunning chief minister who knows that today the Supreme Court has passed a very rigid order against her, and that has really deemed the prestige of the CM to a ground level, because Supreme Court said that democracy cannot take over democracy. Now in the next hearing, it is quite possible that Mamata Banerjee will have to bear the brunt of the Supreme Court for her actions when she went and stole the documents in the ED raid. That is why, in order to cover up what the Supreme Court has said today, she's talking all this which doesn't make any sense, and it is a complete nonsense.
Okay, I mean, I just want you to give one more reply to Mamata, because she's saying that she's accusing the army of doing SIR work and BJP work. This is what she's saying. But do you think that she has any kind of proof for this?
That is exactly what the people who are where she's doing this press conference should ask her. As I told you, the proverb suits best, as cunning as a fox. And she is very cunning, and she knows that by saying these kind of nonsensical things, everything will be diluted. People will not speak.
Yes, well, thank you, Priyanka Tibrewal, Bengal BJP spokesperson, joining us. I want to go back to Kishan. Kishan joining us. Kishan, not the first time we have heard Mamata accuse the army of doing SIR work, because what we have seen earlier, Mamata has said that the army commanded at Fort William was working on SIR at BJP's behest. This is not the first time she has said this. She has made these allegations time and again.
She has, again, time and again, she has disrespected the army. She has alleged false claims on the army, BSF, CISF, and all other central forces, paramilitary forces, and now the army as well. She has made a huge statement, a controversial statement, a statement which has no backing or no ground. She is falsely alleging that she has news that in Fort William there is some BJP activity is going on and some SIR activity is going on. I'll remind our viewers that Fort William is the center, is the headquarter for army in the whole eastern region. The whole eastern region, the army headquarters is Fort William, where we know that's very crucial national security.
Yes, Kishan, I just want to play out once more what Mamata says. She's accused the army of doing SIR work. Let's play it out.
বর্ডারের দায়িত্বে কে? বিএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। কয়লার দায়িত্বে কে? সিআইএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। প্লেনে কে আসছে বাইরের লোক, তার দায়িত্বে কে? কাস্টমস কার হাতে, এভিয়েশন কার হাতে, রেল কার হাতে? সব সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। সিআরপিএফ কার হাতে? সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আর্মিও তোমার হাতে, সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আমি জীবনে দেখিনি, এমনকি আমার কাছে একটা খবর এসছে, কদিন আগে আপনাদের সাংবাদিকদের আর্মি অফিস থেকে কাউকে কাউকে ইনভাইট করা হয়েছিল জাস্ট টু টক। আমি এর মধ্যে কোনো ভুল দেখি না, আমি ওদের সম্মান করি, আমি সব ফোর্সকেই। কিন্তু একটা রিকোয়েস্ট করব, আমার কাছে খবর আছে ফোর্ট এরিয়ামে একজন কমান্ড্যান্ট SIR এর কাজ করছে এবং বিজেপি করছে, বসে পার্টি অফিসের কাজ করছেন। প্লিজ আপনাদের কাছে হাত জোর করে রিকোয়েস্ট করব, এটা করতে যাবেন না। যারা সত্যিকারের চোর ডাকাত, ধরুন কটা কেস হয়েছে বিজেপির, খুনি, ডাকাত, ধর্ষককারী, হত্যাকারী, হাওলাকারী, কটা কেস হয়েছে? বর্ডারের দায়িত্বে কে? BSF সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। কয়লার দায়িত্বে কে? CISF সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। প্লেনে কে আসছে? বাইরের লোক, তার দায়িত্বে কে? কাস্টমস কার হাতে? এভিয়েশন কার হাতে? রেল কার হাতে? সব সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। CRPF কার হাতে? সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আর্মিও তোমার হাতে, সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আমি জীবনে দেখিনি, এমনকি আমার কাছে একটা খবর এসছে, কদিন আগে আপনাদের সাংবাদিকদের আর্মি অফিস থেকে কাউকে কাউকে ইনভাইট করা হয়েছিল, জাস্ট টু টক। আমি এর মধ্যে কোনো ভুল দেখি না, আমি ওদের সম্মান করি, আমি সব ফোর্সকেই। কিন্তু একটা রিকোয়েস্ট করব, আমার কাছে খবর আছে ফোর্ট এরিয়ামে একজন কমান্ড্যান্ট SIR এর কাজ করছে এবং বিজেপি করছে, বসে পার্টি অফিসের কাজ করছেন। প্লিজ আপনাদের কাছে হাত জোর করে রিকোয়েস্ট করব, এটা করতে যাবেন না। যারা সত্যিকারের চোর ডাকাত, ধরুন কটা কেস হয়েছে বিজেপির, খুনি, ডাকাত, ধর্ষককারী, হত্যাকারী, হাওলাকারী, কটা কেস হয়েছে?
A few was in a major setback for Vijay's much anticipated film Jan Nayagan, and now the Supreme Court has now refused to entertain the producer's plea, clearly stating that the matter is before the Madras High Court, which will hear the plea on Jan 20th. Here's more on that development.
In a major setback for Thalapathy Vijay's Jananayagan, the Supreme Court has refused to grant any relief to the filmmakers. Refusing to entertain the matter, the top court stated that the issue is already scheduled to be heard by the High Court on January 20th. However, to prevent any further delay, it directed that an order be passed on the same day. The order came in response to a petition filed against the move to issue an A certificate to the film. The makers were hoping to obtain CBFC clearance and move ahead with the film's release. The film was initially slated for release on January 9th. However, the CBFC held back the certification following a complaint received by the chairman. At the center of the controversy are concerns that the film could hurt religious sentiments and portray the armed forces in a negative light. As the certification roadblock continues, so does the politics surrounding Vijay's highly anticipated action thriller. This is Vijay's last film before he enters politics full-time. He has stated that voters deserve nothing less than his complete commitment. And it is against this unforgiving backdrop that Jananayagan arrives. With assembly elections due in Tamil Nadu, Vijay's TVK has emerged as the third major regional player. The DMK and Congress allege that the delay is part of a large attempt to arm twist the megastar into joining political alliances. But as alliance dynamics remain uncertain in the state, so does the fate of the 500 crore film, which will now be decided on January 20th.
And viewers, much more coming up on the side. Controversy over unsanitary conditions which are not clean at Delhi's stadiums. India's open players have called overall environment unsuitable. This is the top story coming in as controversy continues over the unsanitary conditions at Delhi stadiums. All this and much more coming right up. Stay tuned.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा, सबका राजा प्योर मसाला।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force. So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So we don't want that to happen. There have been cases like this where President Obama totally backed down. But this is something pretty incredible that's happening in Iran. It's an amazing thing to watch. They've done a bad job. They've treated their people very badly, and now they're being paid back. So let's see what happens. We're watching it.
U.S. has proven its military capacity in Operation Midnight Hammer, where the United States military bombed Iran's nuclear facilities. U.S. B-2 stealth bombers, which flew a secretive and historic long-range mission, dropped 14 massive ordnance penetrators, also known as bunker buster bombs, on 3 critical Iranian nuclear sites: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. As the situation between the U.S. and Iran escalates further, Israel's official state aircraft, Wing of Zion, has departed from Nevatim Air Force Base. The aircraft, which contains a private office, a war room, and sophisticated defense systems, serves as the primary transport for the Prime Minister. India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar has also received a call from Iranian Foreign Minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi. The foreign ministers discussed the evolving situation in and around Iran. The protests began as demonstrations in Tehran's bazaars over rampant inflation. The Iranian rial surged to $1 million against the U.S. dollar, marking a significant devaluation of the national currency in a single day. The protests morphed into an uprising against the
Viewers, coming up at 6 stories at 6. ED versus Mamata battle reaches the Supreme Court. Supreme Court stays all FIRs against ED officials. And we also see that Maharashtra is voting in the civic body polls. Big battle in Pune and Mumbai. The results are tomorrow. All this and much more coming up on 6 stories at 6.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो तुम्हारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. And they won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Viewers, get ready for a cultural celebration like no other. It's Republic Bharat Sangam 2026, airing on 16th of January. That's tomorrow. A spectacular confluence of literature, music and inspiring stories that are waiting for you. From devotional melodies to folk traditions, from Bollywood glitter to Bhojpuri stardom, from timeless literary voices to today's self-made superstars, this stage has it all. So don't miss a single moment of this extraordinary experience. Watch it only on Republic Bharat, 16th of January. Time for the headlines now. Mamata Banerjee insults forces, claims army commandant doing SIR and BJP work.
दंगल राज का प्रतीक कौन? अराजकता की मूर्ति, जंगल राज का प्रतीक ममता बनर्जी। और बड़े दुख से कहना पड़ता है, ये वो व्यक्ति है जो संविधान की शपथ लेता है।
BJP attacks Mamata government after Supreme Court order, says CM symbol of Jungle Raj and idol of anarchy. After hygiene row, world number 2 says in badminton says polluted Delhi unfit for badminton championship. 2 Denmark shuttlers quit India Open. That's happening in the national capital. It's a controversy over summons to late Air India pilot's brother in AI 171 crash investigation. Top pilot body calls out the government. Voting across 29 municipal corporations held across Maharashtra, total of 3.48 crore voters eligible to decide the fate of 15,931 candidates. All right, viewers, we shift our focus to the story that we're tracking for you now. Controversy has hit India Open, the badminton championship that is right now underway in New Delhi. And this is happening at the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium. And during the India Open badminton tournament, players and spectators reported unsanitary conditions and frequent monkey intrusions also now. Several videos have been shared on social media showing monkeys roaming inside the spectator gallery, particularly the gold stand, while players complained of pigeon droppings, poor hygiene,
within the venue. In fact, players have claimed that the conditions were unfit for an international tournament. And the controversy snowballed after the world number 2 withdrew from the event, citing Delhi's pollution and overall environment as unsuitable, citing unhygienic conditions. 2 Danish players have already have withdrawn from India Open. So they've talked about, they've cited AQI, they've cited the pigeon droppings being on the courts and unhygienic conditions. Now a monkey has also been spotted inside the stadium, as you can see right now. It is right. There were no spectators around, but yes, the fact that the stadium, you can see that there was someone, the monkey is inside, is raising many concerns, and this is the latest controversy. This is the breaking news we have right now. Harsh is joining us live on the broadcast from Harsh. Tell us more details today. We see that first the 2 Danish players had spoken about the unhygienic conditions, and now on video we also see that a monkey intruded the stadium.
Well, right, we are standing right here in front of the KD Jadhav Stadium in New Delhi, and this is, as per the information we have received, as per the official records, this is the official practice venue of the ongoing India Open Badminton Tournament, which as per the Badminton Association of India is a practice session, a starter pack ahead of the upcoming BWF World Championship that is scheduled to take place in August this year. Now what we have been told so far is there are multiple complaints made by multiple shuttlers that there were monkey sightings inside the stadium, not just here at the practice venue, but also in the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium. There were bird droppings that were seen at the venue. However, we also made an attempt to get in contact with Badminton Association of India General Secretary Sanjay Mishra. However, all our calls went unanswered. Despite these allegations being made by the top shuttlers around the world, Indian shuttlers, including PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen, have said that the playing condition here at the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium as well as here at the practice venue seems to be fine. But there are multiple videos now also circulating online that show a monkey going around in the inside in the venue, as well as there are visuals of bird droppings inside the venue. Over to you.
So, there has been a change in the venue this time, and now KD Jadhav is only being used for training purposes, while the Indira Gandhi Stadium is also is actually the site of the venue for the matches. So, are there complaints coming in only for the KD Jadhav Stadium, or it's also there are complaints raised within the Indira Gandhi Stadium as well?
As per the information we have received and as per the social media videos that are now going viral, despite the change in the venue and despite the KD Jadhav Stadium being considered as only the practice venue, there are problems with the Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium as well. The social media videos that are now going viral have shown there was a monkey spotted inside the stadium. There were bird droppings, but the problems remain persistent since India is a country that is ambitious to host Olympics. It is preparing to host the upcoming BWF World Championship in August 2026, and this is considered to be the practice of what is upcoming in the months to come. And hence, it becomes important for us because India is a country that is known for good hospitality, and when such complaints emerge from top shuttlers from around the world, it becomes a problem.
Right. Thank you so much for joining us. on the broadcast. We also have Joseph Hoover, Indian sports journalist, live from Bengaluru. Mr. Hoover, well, this, of course, is a great cause of concern, and there are many questions being raised from different quarters. There are, questions being raised that India is preparing to hold. They are, bidding for the Olympics as well, and many more championships, in different sports. But here we have two Danish shuttlers who have quit this tournament, and now we also have, monkey being sighted inside the stadium in a video. It's actually a cause of worry, sir. Can you, Mr. Hoover, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It's very unfortunate that this has happened, because the Badminton Federation of India should have been better prepared for an event as big as this. When you talk about the Indian Open, when you're getting international players coming in to participate in this event, we got to be careful. We need to do the best to ensure that the image of the country does not get, sullied. So it's very unfortunate. And if players are saying things are bad, then it has to be taken into consideration. And there are certain players who are withdrawn from the tournament also. It reflects the country in a very poor state. So it's very unfortunate. And if the ladies are saying it's very difficult and they got to wear, cover themselves up properly so they don't get infected. So it shows that there's been utter negligence on part of the BFI and the organizing committee there. When you have an event coming up as big as this, you got to ensure every parameter is looked into, not just organizing the event, the cleanliness, the hospitality, the logistics, every aspect has to be looked into. And this is where the BFI has failed. It's very sad that we have international players, badminton players, criticizing us, saying these conditions are not good. Everybody knows what happens at the district level tournaments, at the state level tournaments, because the players are used to playing in such conditions. They don't raise a voice at all because they say, what else can you do? We have to play. Like as in the case of our stars, Sindhu and Lakshmi, saying that these conditions are okay. They're helpless. They just have to say, okay, everything is okay, because they're used to such scenarios. But when you have international players coming in, when they have seen the best around the world, they expect good conditions in India. And especially when it's happening in the capital, India capital, you got to have the best facilities available. So where I see it personally, it hurts. I mean, for foreign players to talk about saying conditions are not good, and then you have visuals showing monkey inside the stadium. How on earth can a monkey come into the stadium? I can understand pigeons coming in because they have some vent or the other to come in, and they have bird droppings around the place. For a monkey to get into a stadium shows the utter neglect of the administrators there and the organizing committee.
Of course, we've seen that there have been lapses clearly, sir. But when a player talks about AQI pollution, how much do you think is in the control of any country, Because we also had Kidambi Shrikant talking about power cut for 1 full hour during a match in Denmark itself. But there is, so much of brouhaha. I mean, there's nothing wrong in, of course, raising concerns. And pollution is, a very, very hazardous, situation that we are witnessing with the rising AQI for everybody, athletes and common citizens alike. But how do you think that, how do you see this, quitting and withdrawing of names and, the condition of AQI, the pollution being highlighted like this?
I mean, that shows like we have failed. As a government, we have failed. We should have addressed this. It's not just the foreign players that we need to worry about. They might just raise a doubt here or, raise some kind of a noise. But we need to consider about our own players, the conditions they play in, the conditions that our people live in, especially in Delhi or Punjab or Haryana, elsewhere. So we need to consider all that. A player coming and raising a kind of a thing saying that things are not good, it only shows that we are not bothered. We are conditioned to live in these kind of scenario, and we live with it. Whether the AQI is 348, 459 or 600, we'll have to live with that. So it has gone beyond control. So very unfortunate that we have let ourselves down. We are talking about India being a superpower soon. But this only shows that we are not prepared. And we are talking about hosting the 2036 Olympics when we don't even have our grassroots level correct. Our grassroots is in total disarray. It's in doldrums. And we are aiming big by having an event as big as the Summer Games, as the Olympic Games. And when the players are talking about conditions being so bad in an Indian Open, so it reflects very poorly. I mean, even a prime minister has to take this very seriously. He can't talk about saying we want to host the Olympics and then allow these kind of things happen, because all this matters. Eventually, when the committee, the IOC, Indian Olympic Committee, Indian International Olympic Committee, gives the go-ahead for India hosting the games, they have to see everything. For every aspect will have to be looked into. And health is one big thing on the minds of all players across the globe. So health is something that we think that they will have to really talk about, think about, and do something about it. If we continue to be in this kind of conditions where our AQI is so high and living conditions are pathetic and the playing conditions are so poor, I think there is a lot of things that we need to do. We need to start from the beginning. We hosted a Commonwealth Games. We hosted the Asian Games in '82. Then we had the Commonwealth Games. And what happens? Afterwards, our stadia is always in utter neglect. Players don't even get facilities to play. So it's very sad. I mean, yes, we talk about Sindhu saying, yes, the conditions are okay. Poor girl, she has to say that, because the moment she says things are bad, then it really is going to create a lot more trouble for the BFI and for this nation as such.
Well, unfortunately, we did not really see much of it all when it comes to the Paris Games. I mean, there was no AC, or whatever reasons were cited by the authority. There was no AC, there were cardboard beds and whatnot. But of course, we do understand when it comes to India, sometimes these things have been stretched out by the international players, as much as it's important to focus on the lapses as well. Many thanks, Mr. Joseph, for joining us on Republic TV. And my colleague Harsh continues to be with us from outside the stadium. Now, Harsh, of course, as we just hear, that there is a lot of condemnation from across across the industry members, the journalists and athletes, former athletes as well. But have you been able to talk to anybody from the administration or somebody who has been taking care of the infrastructure there, or any other athletes did you spot there? Did you manage to speak to them? What do they have to say?
Despite multiple attempts, we were not allowed to enter the stadium. However, there were visuals captured by my video journalist here that showed there were stray dogs roaming inside the stadium, despite the severity of the situation, when the situation is already under the media scanner, when the world is watching us ahead of a big tournament that is scheduled in August 2026. This is set to be the biggest badminton tournament outside Olympics, and this is being told as the starter of what is ahead. Now, when we sit here outside the KD Jadhav Stadium, that has now been turned into the practice venue, despite initial claims that this stadium is the official venue of the India Open. The condition remains poor when you see dogs roaming inside the premises where an event of such importance is taking place, where there is participation not just from India but from around the world. This is somewhat shameful.
Okay, many thanks for joining us with those details on that story, Harsh. We will keep a track on that story. We were shifting focus to now this controversy surrounding X, formerly Twitter. After a barrage of obscene pictures deluded X social media with a grok feature that edited real photos upon request to take down clothes of real people. An update is now finally available to tackle the huge menace. Now, Elon Musk's AI model, Grok, will no longer be able to edit photos of real people to show them in revealing clothing. Here's a report.
Elon Musk's Grok AI will no longer edit photos of real people to show them in revealing clothing. X said that technological measures will prevent Grok account from allowing the editing of images and bar it from creating obscene images. With this, Grok will no longer be able to edit photos of real people to depict them in revealing clothing following the spread of sexualized AI deepfakes. This progress comes after the Ministry of Information Technology issued a notice to X asking it to remove obscene content from its platform. It had given the platform to comply with India's statutory obligations within 72 hours. In response, the social media platform had removed approximately 3,500 pieces of content and deleted over 600 accounts.
We were shifting focus to West Bengal. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has triggered a row after alleging that army commandant posted at Fort William was doing SIR-related work for the BJP. It's once again Mamata Banerjee insulting our forces. BJP accuses her of insulting the armed forces and dragging the Indian army into partisan politics ahead of elections.
বর্ডারের দায়িত্বে কে বিএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, কয়লার দায়িত্বে কে সিআইএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, প্লেনে কে আসছে বাইরের লোক তার দায়িত্বে কে কাস্টমস কার হাতে, এভিয়েশন কার হাতে, রেল কার হাতে, সব সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, সিআরপিএফ কার হাতে সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, আর্মিও তোমার হাতে সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আমি জীবনে দেখিনি, এমনকি আমার কাছে একটা খবর এসছে কদিন আগে আপনাদের সাংবাদিকদের আর্মি অফিস থেকে কাউকে কাউকে ইনভাইট করা হয়েছিল জাস্ট টু টক। আমি এর মধ্যে কোনো ভুল দেখি না, আমি ওদের সম্মান করি, আমি সব ফোর্সকেই, কিন্তু একটা রিকোয়েস্ট করব, আমার কাছে খবর আছে ফোর্ট উইলিয়ামে একজন কমান্ড্যান্ট এসআইআর এর কাজ করছে এবং বিজেপি করছে, বসে পার্টি অফিসের কাজ করছেন। প্লিজ আপনাদের কাছে হাত জোর করে রিকোয়েস্ট করব, এটা করতে যাবেন না। যারা সত্যিকারের চোর ডাকাত, ধরুন কটা কেস হয়েছে বিজেপির, খুনি, ডাকাত, ধর্ষককারী, হত্যাকারী, হাওলাকারী, কটা কেস হয়েছে? বর্ডারের দায়িত্বে কে বিএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, কয়লার দায়িত্বে কে সিআইএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, প্লেনে কে আসছে বাইরের লোক তার দায়িত্বে কে কাস্টমস কার হাতে, এভিয়েশন কার হাতে, রেল কার হাতে, সব সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, সিআরপিএফ কার হাতে সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, আর্মিও তোমার হাতে সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আমি জীবনে দেখিনি, এমনকি আমার কাছে একটা খবর এসছে কদিন আগে আপনাদের সাংবাদিকদের আর্মি অফিস থেকে কাউকে কাউকে ইনভাইট করা হয়েছিল জাস্ট টু টক। আমি এর মধ্যে কোনো ভুল দেখি না, আমি ওদের সম্মান করি, আমি সব ফোর্সকেই, কিন্তু একটা রিকোয়েস্ট করব, আমার কাছে খবর আছে ফোর্ট উইলিয়ামে একজন কমান্ড্যান্ট এসআইআর এর কাজ করছে এবং বিজেপি করছে, বসে পার্টি অফিসের কাজ করছেন। প্লিজ আপনাদের কাছে হাত জোর করে রিকোয়েস্ট করব, এটা করতে যাবেন না। যারা সত্যিকারের চোর ডাকাত, ধরুন কটা কেস হয়েছে বিজেপির, খুনি, ডাকাত, ধর্ষককারী, হত্যাকারী, হাওলাকারী, কটা কেস হয়েছে?
All right, we have defense expert Major General G.D. Bakshi joining us on the phone line. General Bakshi, we just heard Mamata Banerjee. She's openly alleging that an army commandant is doing SIR-related work, election-related work. How do you react to it, sir?
This is preposterous. The commandant, she's saying that the Eastern Army commander is getting down to doing election-related work. That's not his job. He's nowhere concerned. And the army stays absolutely clear of any such political involvement. This is a preposterous allegation, and if she's going to make such a sweeping charge, she should produce the evidence. This is just not done. I mean, you can't then demean the armed forces and lower their prestige and lower their image in the eyes of the public. This is unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable. You just can't shoot and scoot, make such charges and just duck, because I have served in Eastern Command, and I was the MG Adam of Eastern Command, dealing with all these kind of issues of we used to make sure that we stayed arm's length from political issues and we kept them out of military purview. Absolutely. We did not even permit rallies on the Calcutta Maidan, political rallies, etc.
Right, sir. Absolutely, General Bakshi, because we've seen there have been a pattern to this, sir. We've seen many times such allegations are made, be it the BSF or, against our forces. And the netas we see time and again, they just get away, as you just said, shoot and scoot. And insulting, it seems, is something that they would just cite the freedom of expression. But this has been going on for a long, long time. But this is something we've never seen before, we've never heard about, that, detracting the political angle when it comes to the forces.
No, I find each day we touch new political laws in the political discourse, new laws in our political discourse. Like I said, this is the first time I have heard of such a sweeping allegation that the Eastern Army commander is now trying to do the job of the Election Commission and working on the electoral rolls. This is preposterous. And if she is making such a serious charge, she can't just make it and then say, oh, it was a whim, it was a fancy thought. So I thought, let me share it with the people. I got a brainwave. You have to then furnish the proof for such sweeping across-the-board allegations, which are very, very demeaning to the army. They are hurtful to the army. The army is gone out of the way to be apolitical, to stay above the mark of the political discourse. They stay aloof. They have a job to do, man. Let them do their job. Let them do their job. And if you wish to involve them, then please present the proof. Please present proof. You can't shoot and scoot.
Right.
That's not done. That's not acceptable. You are lowering the image of the armed forces of India.
Right. Right, sir. Major General Ajit Bakshi, many thanks for joining us with your reaction on that story. We also have Major General K.K. Sinha joining us. General Sinha, well, Army Commandant is doing SIR-related work, alleges none other than the Chief Minister of West Bengal, a sitting Chief Minister, making such allegations openly and without even any evidence. She just addresses the press conference and she said that the Army is doing SIR and BJP-related work, sir.
Good evening, and Jayan. This type of allegation is a very, very serious allegation because he is a sitting Chief Minister of Bengal. And in Bengal, there is Eastern Command. And Eastern Command is doing a very, very serious job of checking the infiltration which is coming from Bangladesh. And all, the people who are coming across from Bangladesh, they are being checked all along, which is the West Bengal and other 7, states are there northeast. And he is putting an allegation because it is a very serious matter. Army has got his hands full. It is a political army. He has never been done. If he is making, it is pressuring with the nation. This statement, he may be a sitting, but he can't make a statement like this and get away. And I think this must be taken very seriously. Army, as on today, Eastern Theatre and Eastern Command, per se, what is happening in the Chicken Neck area, what is Army doing over there, with a lot of difficulties, and sometimes even there are state and allegations are there with Mamata. He is encouraging people to come across so that democratic pattern changes and he gets the benefit of that. That is what exactly the Indian people and Indian system is bringing it out.
Right,
and that's why SIR, Special Investigation Division, going on. Just they can't, get away. Indian armed forces are apolitical, will remain apolitical. We have nothing to do with it.
Right. General Sinha, thank you so much for joining us on Republic TV with your reaction on that story. Mamata Banerjee insulting the armed forces. Viewers, now, Niva Bupa Health Insurance has come on board as our studio partner. And viewers, Niva Bupa Health Insurance is trusted by over 2.7 crore Indians. It offers India's first truly unlimited health insurance plan with no limit on coverage.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा। मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरे राजा,
राजा और प्योर मसाला।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. And they won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े। क्या निराला MDH मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. And they won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force. So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved.
So viewers, get ready for a cultural celebration like no other. It's Republic Bharat Sangam 2026 airing on 16th of January, that's tomorrow. A spectacular confluence of literature, music and inspiring stories await you. From devotional melodies to folk traditions, from Bollywood glitter to Bhojpuri stardom, from timeless literary voices to today's self-made superstars, this stage has it all. So don't miss a single moment of this extraordinary experience. Watch it all only on Republic Bharat tomorrow. Mamata Banerjee insults forces, claims army commandant doing SIR and BJP work.
जंगल राज का प्रतीक कौन? अराजकता की मूर्ति, जंगल राज का प्रतीक ममता बनर्जी। और बड़े दुख से कहना पड़ता है, ये वो व्यक्ति है जो संविधान की शपथ लेता है।
BJP attacks Mamata government after Supreme Court order, says the Chief Minister symbol of Jungle Raj, an ideal of anarchy. After hygiene row, world number 2 says polluted Delhi unfit for Badminton Championship. Now a monkey also spotted inside the premises. Controversy over summons to late Air India pilot's brother in AI 171 crash investigation. Top pilot's body calls out government. Voting across 29 municipal corporations is being held across Maharashtra. Total of 3.48 crore voters eligible to decide the fate of 15,931 candidates. Now, claiming to back up its allegation that the chaos at Calcutta High Court during the hearing on petitions over the I-PAC raids was engineered, the Enforcement Directorate has shared a screenshot now of a WhatsApp chat with the Supreme Court, in which the lawyers are purportedly being asked to assemble in the courtroom. And on January 9th, the Calcutta High Court was hearing 2 sets of petitions on the raids, and in its petition, the ED had challenged West Bengal Chief Minister and Trinamool Congress chairperson Mamata Banerjee and misused her constitutional post by hindering officials who were doing their duty during the raids at the I-PAC office and the house of its co-founder Prateek Jain. The Trinamool Congress and Prateek Jain had filed counter pleas. And Kisholai joins us live on the broadcast. Kisholai, well, tell us more details about this WhatsApp chat that have been presented in the Supreme Court, and Republic TV has also accessed them.
Well, this WhatsApp chat establishes the point that the TMC legal cell members were in fact pre-planning a chaos at the courtroom in which the hearing was going on, the case which connected I-PAC, Mamata Banerjee and the ED. It was going on there at courtroom number 5. Item was item number 10, and the hearing was going on. In this WhatsApp chat, one of the TMC legal cell members allegedly, and very clearly, in fact, we have that chat, we have a screenshot where he's saying that everyone come to this courtroom at that point of time when the hearing will be on. Why is he calling all the TMC legal cell members when they are not party to that particular case that was being heard? It was very clear. After this message was circulated, the TMC legal cell members, lawyers connected to the TMC legal cell, organized themselves inside the courtroom and then utter chaos and disorder, ushered in that the hearing have to be postponed, adjourned. In the same message, in the next part, it has been declared that after such gathering in the courtroom, all of them needs to come to gate number B of the High Court, and from there, there will be buses and vehicles that will take them to Mamata Banerjee's rally. So in the same message, where this pre-planned chaos and disorder was instructed. In the same message, there was an instruction about these members to come to the gate to go to Mamata Banerjee's rally. So this particular chaos and disorder within the High Court was pre-planned, and it was aimed at adjourning this hearing so that TMC and Mamata Banerjee could buy more time in order to fix their strategy, and in order to buy more time to understand how can they defend themselves better. So this was a strategical chaos that happened inside the High Court, and now it has been proved by these screenshots.
Right. Many thanks, Kishore, for joining us with those details coming in on that story. In fact, we have some breaking news coming in. The Defense Minister is speaking right now. Let's take a listen to that.
लगभग 46,000 करोड़ रुपया हुआ करता था, यानी हम लोग भारत में सिर्फ 46,000 करोड़ रुपए के हथियार और साजो सामान बना पाते थे, लेकिन आज वही बढ़कर रिकॉर्ड 1.5 लाख करोड़ रुपए से अधिक हो चुका है। इसके अलावा 2014 के समय भारत का जो डिफेंस एक्सपोर्ट था वह बहुत कम हुआ करता था। लगभग 1,000 करोड़ रुपए से भी कम के हथियार और साजो सामान हम दुनिया को बेच पाते थे, लेकिन आज वही बढ़कर लगभग 25,000 करोड़ रुपए तक पहुंच गया है। हमारे इन तमाम प्रयासों में हमारी सेनाओं ने बराबर साथ दिया है, सहयोग किया है, सक्रिय भूमिका का निर्वाह किया है। साथियों, यह सदी हमारी है, आने वाला वक्त भी हमारा है, और हमने जिस प्रकार से आत्मनिर्भरता की ओर कदम बढ़ाया है, मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हमारी सेना भी आने वाले समय में निश्चित रूप से दुनिया की सर्वश्रेष्ठ सेना होगी, ऐसा मेरा पक्का विश्वास है। मुझे यह भी विश्वास है कि आप लोगों के सहयोग से हम इस उद्देश्य को भी जल्द से जल्द प्राप्त करने में कामयाब होंगे। अंत में एक बार मैं फिर आप लोगों को आपके उत्तम कार्यों के लिए बधाई देता हूं और इस विश्वास के साथ अपनी बात समाप्त करता हूं कि हम इसी तरह मिलकर काम करते हुए भारत को एक मजबूत और आत्मनिर्भर राष्ट्र बनाएंगे। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ आप सबको धन्यवाद देते हुए अपना निवेदन समाप्त करता हूं। बोलिए भारत माता की, भारत माता की, भारत माता की।
All right, that is Defense Minister Rajnath Singh at the Army Day celebrations in Jaipur as India marks the 78th Indian Army Day. And Defense Minister Rajnath Singh was talking about self-reliance in the defense sector, talking about manufacturing in India. And now, viewers, we are shifting our focus to the other stories we're tracking for you. This one's from Punjab, where Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann has appeared before the Akal Takht as he was being summoned by the Akal Takht Sahib over alleged anti-Sikh remarks. And after appearing before the Akal Takht Sahib, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann has said that he had given a complete explanation to the Jathedar regarding all the statements that he had made, and he clarified that a false narrative was being created on social media that suggests he was challenging the Akal Takht Sahib, which is absolutely, he says, not the case. In fact, he says, and I quote, "I have bowed my head at the Akal Takht Sahib. I told the Jathedar that I neither have the intention nor the audacity to challenge the Akal Takht," unquote. In fact, Mann says that he would be informed of any further instructions or decisions. He says that he feels relieved now, and he has presented the people's sentiments to the Jathedar in writing and verbally as well. And regarding the alleged objectionable video circulating on social media, the Chief Minister has said that the video is fake and can be investigated by any agency. Lalit joins us live on the broadcast. Lalit, tell us more details about this case, please.
There has been allegations on the Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann by the Sikh clergy, that is the highest body of the Sikhs, that is the Akal Takht, and he was asked to appear before the Akal Takht today. So after he was being summoned today, CM Bhagwant Mann appeared before the Akal Takht, where he vowed and said that he has no intention to stand against the Akal Takht. He has vowed and he has no audacity to speak against Akal Takht as it's the highest priest body. Apart from that, what he has said that there is a fake video which is being circulated on social media and a fake narrative has been set against him. But he has no intention regarding that. He has already said that this is not the case regarding that. Apart from that, if you talk about CM Bhagwant Mann is not the first chief minister who has been summoned by the Akal Takht. Before that also, there has been a number of politicians who have been called, which includes the former Chief Minister Surjit Singh Barnala, who was summoned in 1986. Then it was the former Chief Minister Sardar Prakash Singh Badal, former Deputy Chief Minister Sukhbir Singh Badal, then the Home Minister Bhuta Singh, and the former President Gyani Jayal Singh. So there has been number of cases in which they were found guilty. That is Tankhaiya, they were counted from the Akal Takht, which is a religious misconduct, and guilty from the Akal Takht. So today he was summoned and he has answered all the questions to the Jathedar. Apart from that, one thing more. After that, a statement was being released by the Jathedar also, in which he has said that the 5-6 now will take the decision and the video would also be given to the forensic team. Back to the studio.
Many thanks, Lalit, for joining us with those details coming in on that story. And let's take a quick check of the other news coming in from across the country. This is Bharat in a minute. The anti-terror operation continues in Kathua for the second consecutive day. The operation was launched by Jammu Kashmir Police just after 2 suspected terrorists were spotted by residents. Indian Army has also deployed its special forces as part of the operation. And DIG JKS Shiv Kumar Sharma also visited the site last night. There was a clash reported from Purana Pul in Old City of Hyderabad, allegedly due to the desecration of a temple, and flexes and decoratives were torn down, and an attempt was made to vandalize a temple, which led to a clash between the Hindu and Muslim communities. Police reached the site immediately to disperse the crowds who were raising slogans and pelting stones, and even tried to vandalize dargahs. They were trying to vandalize, and the police said that everything is under control and they are on alert. There has been a late-night encounter between the North District Anti-Narcotics Team and criminals in Delhi. 2 of the shooters, identified as Deepak and Neil, arrested, were associated with the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, and they were involved in the firing incidents in Paschim Vihar and West Vinod Nagar as well. Okay, viewers, now we shift our focus to the 78th Army Day Parade. At the parade, Chief of the Army Staff, General Upendra Dwivedi, today addressed the media and said that the Indian Army is steadily evolving into a future-ready force with empowered soldiers. Take a look.
मैं आपके माध्यम से भारतीय सेना के सभी सैनिकों, हमारे सिविलियन कर्मचारियों, वेटरन्स, वीर नारियों और उनके परिवारजनों को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। इस पावन अवसर पर हम उन वीर सैनिकों को श्रद्धापूर्वक नमन करते हैं जिन्होंने देश की सेवा में सर्वोच्च बलिदान दिया। मैं राजस्थान सरकार और खासकर जयपुर के नागरिकों को तहे दिल से धन्यवाद देता हूं। आज बड़ी संख्या में नागरिकों की उपस्थिति यह दर्शाती है कि सेना और जनता के बीच कितना गहरा संबंध है। आपका उत्साह और समर्थन हर सैनिक का मनोबल बढ़ाता है। जयपुर में सेना दिवस का आयोजन सेना को नागरिकों के और करीब लाने का प्रयास है। परेड के अलावा नो योर आर्मी मेला जैसे कार्यक्रमों ने इस संबंध को और मजबूत किया। आज शाम शौर्य संध्या में ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान सेना के साहस, अनुशासन और क्षमता का प्रदर्शन किया जाएगा। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर ने एक नया नॉर्मल स्थापित किया है। इस ऑपरेशन ने भारतीय सेना की तेज प्रतिक्रिया, बेहतर समन्वय और सटीक कार्यवाही की क्षमता का दर्शाया है। यह एक परिपक्व, आत्मविश्वासी और जिम्मेदार बल की तस्वीर प्रस्तुत करता है जो राष्ट्रीय हितों की रक्षा के लिए पूरी तरह सक्षम है। पिछले कुछ वर्षों में भारतीय सेना की सोच में एक स्पष्ट बदलाव आया। हम केवल वर्तमान चुनौतियों पर ही नहीं बल्कि भविष्यों के युद्धों की तैयारी में भी गंभीरता से काम कर रहे हैं। इसी दिशा में नई संरचनाएं यानी नए स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाए जा रहे हैं जिन्हें भविष्य की आवश्यकताओं के अनुसार इक्विप और ट्रेन किया जा रहा है।
And for the first time, viewers, the Army Day Parade moved out of a cantonment and onto open city streets. Jaipur turned into a battlefield showcase this time with BrahMos missiles, tanks, drones, robot dogs and Apache helicopters on display. And the first public appearance of the new Bhairav Battalion. They make their debut this parade, and this day also carried deep emotion as heroes of Operation Sindoor were honored and with the gallantry medals being awarded to the martyrs as well. Here's more.
January 15, India's Army Day, commemorating the day India took command of its own army in 1949. This year it is historic. For the first time ever, the Army Day Parade is being held outside a military cantonment on public city roads.
आर्मी डे की आप सबको हार्दिक बधाई। मैं आपके माध्यम से भारतीय सेना के सभी सैनिकों, हमारे सिविलियन कर्मचारियों, वेटरन्स, वीर नारियों और उनके परिवारजनों को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। जयपुर में सेना दिवस का आयोजन सेना को नागरिकों के और करीब लाने का प्रयास है। परेड के अलावा नो योर आर्मी मेला जैसे कार्यक्रमों ने इस संबंध को और मजबूत किया। आज शाम शौर्य संध्या में ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान सेना के साहस, अनुशासन और क्षमता का प्रदर्शन किया जाएगा।
Jaipur hosts the parade on Mahal Road, Jagatpura. Thousands line the streets to witness history. A 3-kilometer parade route, over 1.5 lakh spectators in attendance. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi and CDS General Anil Chauhan lead the ceremony. The parade is led by Gallantry Award winners Ashok Chakra, Paramveer Chakra and Mahavir Chakra recipients. Valor leads the march, pride leads the parade. First public appearance of the newly raised Bhairav Battalion. Positioned between para-special forces and infantry, the Bhairav Battalion is built for quick, precise, offensive operations in modern warfare. Garhwal Scouts, Sikkim Scouts and Arunachal Scouts march past in full battle gear. The all-girls NCC contingent steals the spotlight, showcasing India's youth power. BrahMos missile system on public roads, India's supersonic strike capability on display. Pinaka rocket launcher follows, symbol of India's long-range firepower. Eyes shift to the sky. Apache attack helicopters perform aggressive maneuvers overhead, a demonstration of air dominance and combat readiness. Robot dogs lead the column, signaling the arrival of robotics in modern warfare. Combat drones displayed, highlighting India's growing drone warfare capability. The Integrated Drone Detection and Interdiction System IDDIS, capable of soft kill and hard kill of aerial threats. A glimpse of future warfare, smart, fast and technology driven. Advanced towed artillery gun system and M777 ultralight howitzer on display. Akash Tir air defense system showcased, battle proven during Operation Sindoor. Jaipur turns into a sea of tricolours. Patriotism fills the streets. Infantry, paratroopers, mechanized units, a complete picture of India's army. Not just a parade, but a statement of strength, sacrifice and self-reliance. From Jaipur streets, India sends a powerful message to the world. The Indian Army stands ready. The nation stands proud.
And in a major setback for Vijay's much anticipated film Jananayagan, the Supreme Court has now refused to entertain the producer's plea, clearly stating that the matter is before the Madras High Court, which will hear the plea on the 20th of January. Here are details of that.
In a major setback for Thalapathy Vijay's Jananayagan, the Supreme Court has refused to grant any relief to the filmmakers. Refusing to entertain the matter, the top court stated that the issue is already scheduled to be heard by the High Court on January 20th. However, to prevent any further delay, it directed that an order be passed on the same day. The order came in response to a petition filed against the move to issue an A certificate to the film. The makers were hoping to obtain CBFC clearance and move ahead with the film's release. The film was initially slated for release on January 9th. However, the CBFC held back the certification following a complaint received by the chairman. At the center of the controversy are concerns that the film could hurt religious sentiments and portray the armed forces in a negative light. As the certification roadblock continues, so does the politics surrounding Vijay's highly anticipated action thriller. This is Vijay's last film before he enters politics full-time. He has stated that voters deserve nothing less than his complete commitment. And it is against this unforgiving backdrop that Jananayagan arrives. With assembly elections due in Tamil Nadu, Vijay's TVK has emerged as the third major regional player. The DMK and Congress allege that the delay is part of a large attempt to arm twist the megastar into joining political alliances. But as alliance dynamics remain uncertain in the state, so does the fate of the 500 crore film, which will now be decided on January 20th.
And communal tension erupted in Hyderabad's historic old city area at the Purana Pul late Wednesday night, just ahead of Sankranti celebrations. Here's what happened and how the situation has unfolded.
Torn up decorations, attempts to vandalize Purana Pul temple. This is what triggered the communal clashes in Hyderabad's old city in Purana Pul. Right ahead of Sankranti celebrations, at 11:30 p.m. on Wednesday night, the unrest began. Desecration attempt at temple was followed by counteractions to target a dargah. Stones were pelted, leaving several injured. Motorcycle was set on fire. With situation escalating, the police had to step in. Acting swiftly, the police intervened and dispersed the crowd.
We are currently standing at the temple in Puranpul in Hyderabad, where communal clashes were reported yesterday night, late at night and early, which lasted up to early in the morning, where police had to intervene, and then there was stone pelting and very communal which escalated very largely here. After which the police had to intervene. We are currently still seeing that the people have gathered here. The Hindu community have gathered inside the temple and are protesting against the vandalism of temple. They are claiming that during the festivity celebrations at Sankranti, which is here, the Hindu temples were deliberately vandalized and the decorations were deliberately vandalized, and this is something that is not acceptable. The repeated targets on Hindu temples here is something that is not acceptable, and the government should react immediately and protect the religious places of worship here.
Legal wheels are moving rapidly. A case has been registered by the Hyderabad police at Kamatipura police station. Forces remain on high alert.
And viewers, Niva Bupa Health Insurance has come on board as our studio partner. And Niva Bupa Health Insurance is trusted by over 2.7 crore Indians. It offers India's first truly unlimited health insurance plan with no limit on coverage.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग स्टिक भी बन सकती है।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार। क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा हार्डकोर मसाला।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination.
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Hello viewers, you're watching 6 Stories at 6. A very good evening. I'm Shivangi Shukla.
Let's see what's making news today. Big setback for CM Mamata. Supreme Court has paused the FIRs registered against ED officials in connection with the I-PAC raids. And Air India plane crash probe updates are coming in. Pilot's body slams summons to Captain Sumit Sabarwal's relative. Situation is worsening in Iran. Families of Indian seafarers detained in Iran have made a desperate appeal for evacuation. When we talk about Iran, US President Trump has said that Iran has halted killings and executions, holding off strikes after assurances. Maharashtra votes and civic body polls, high-stakes battle in Mumbai and Pune. 1,700 candidates are vying for 227 seats in the BMC polls. And finally, the 78th Army Day Parade held in Jaipur, drawing huge crowds as the Indian Army showcased modern weapons, new units and military strength. So let's start off with the top story coming in. The legal battle between the ED and the West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee has taken a very dramatic turn today. Leaked WhatsApp chats have exposed an alleged plot to instigate anarchy and disrupt the law and order in Kolkata. The chats reveal the plan to mobilize a mob to gather outside the Calcutta High Court on Jan 9th and hamper the hearing process. Supreme Court has taken a strong stance, stating that the attempt to disrupt the court proceedings was intentional and not innocent. More in our next report.
The legal drama between ED and Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee now takes a new turn. Leaked WhatsApp chats now expose a chilling plot to instigate anarchy. A mob allegedly mobilized through group messages, with clear instructions to gather outside the Calcutta High Court on January 9th to hamper the hearing process. The aim? Create chaos, disrupt law and order, and derail a crucial judicial hearing. This isn't protest. It's a calculated attempt to intimidate institutions and obstruct justice. The revelations comes a massive setback for Mamata Banerjee and the Bengal police. The Supreme Court also ordered that every FIR registered against Enforcement Directorate officers will now be frozen. BJP also launched a sharp attack on Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee.
जंगल राज का प्रतीक कौन? अराजकता की मूर्ति, जंगल राज का प्रतीक ममता बनर्जी। और बड़े दुख से कहना पड़ता है, ये वो व्यक्ति है जो संविधान की शपथ लेता है, जो मुख्यमंत्री है पश्चिम बंगाल का, जो गृह मंत्री भी है। जंगल राज कैसा होता है? जंगल राज बिल्कुल ममता राज जैसा होता है।
BJP went on to compare Bengal's government to Jungle Raj.
गुंडागर्दी देखिए, हमारे देश की संवैधानिक उच्च न्यायालय को गुंडों से डराने का प्रयास करते हैं। और जो बात सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने संज्ञान ली, उच्च न्यायालय क्या कहता है सुनिए। और इसीलिए पुनः कहूंगा, ये ममता बनर्जी जंगल राज का प्रतीक है, अराजकता की मूर्ति है। और जंगल राज कैसा होता है? बिल्कुल ममता राज जैसा होता है।
The top court also recalls how a CBI team was attacked in Bengal earlier, raising concerns over the safety of central officers and the possibility of conducting fair investigations. The ED makes a clear demand. The case should be moved out of Bengal. A CBI probe is sought into the attacks on ED officers, citing the alleged role of state machinery. The ED alleges an atmosphere of complete anarchy. Material seized during searches was allegedly taken away illegally. With all FIRs stayed and the spotlight firmly on alleged intimidation, the Supreme Court signals zero tolerance for interference in investigations.
Viewers, the Federation of Indian Pilots has accused the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau of harassing the family of deceased pilot Captain Sumit Sabharwal by summoning his nephew Captain Varun Anand in connection with the Air India crash probe. Now, the FIP claims that Captain Anand has no association with the flight or the accident and is being summoned solely due to his familial relationship. They have called the move unlawful and contrary to international aviation investigation norms. Take a look.
The Federation of Indian Pilots has accused the AAIB of harassing the family of deceased pilot Captain Sumit Sabharwal by summoning his nephew in AI-171 crash probe. FIP has issued a notice to the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau regarding the summoning of Captain Varun Anand in connection with the investigation of the AI-171 crash. The letter flags the fact that Captain Varun Anand had no association with the aircraft or the flight in question. He was not present at the site of the accident and does not possess any factual, technical, or operational knowledge relating to the circumstances of the accident. The Federation has objected that the communication calling Captain Varun Anand does not disclose the statutory provision under which he has been summoned, nor does it specify the purpose of the summons or the capacity in which his presence is required.
AIB had written to the airline, and the airline has been pressurizing the captain to go and attend the proceedings with AIB. It is against the rules of the AIB and also as per Annex 13 of ICAO. This does not fall under the purview of the calling of Varun to AIB. Does not fall under these categories of any witnesses who could be of any use towards the finalization of the inquiry.
According to the notice, the summoning of Captain Anand is solely on account of his familial relationship with the deceased pilot, which is stated to be impermissible in law. The notice asserts that such summoning is without jurisdiction. Captain Varun Anand is neither a factual witness, nor a technical witness, nor an expert witness in relation to the accident. Instead of objectively examining systemic, mechanical, or operational causes, it is feared that there is a possible attempt to attribute for responsibility to the deceased flight crew. Father of late Captain Sumit Sabharwal and FIP have already approached the Supreme Court challenging the independence and fairness of the investigation.
Viewers, the families of Indian seafarers detained in Iran have made an urgent appeal to the External Affairs Ministry. At least 16 Indians were detained after the oil tanker MT Valiant Roar was intercepted at Iran's Bandar Abbas port. Families claim no consular access has been given and allege that the Indian crew members had been taken to prison by Iranian guards. Take a look at this report as calls grew louder to bring back those Indians.
Families of Indian seafarers detained in Iran have made a desperate appeal to the Ministry of External Affairs seeking urgent diplomatic intervention. At least 15 Indian crew members were detained after the oil tanker MT Valiant Roar was intercepted at Bandar Abbas port in Iran. According to the appeal submitted by the families, the vessel operated by Prime Tankers LLC Dubai was intercepted by Iran's Revolutionary Guard on December 8, 2025. The ship had 17 to 18 crew members on board, including 15 nationals. Families claim that on January 6, 2026, 10 crew members were taken into custody and jailed by Iran authorities. They say 6 to 7 crew members, including the captain, continue to remain on board the vessel. The families allege that they have had no contact with the detained seafarers and have received no official information on their location, health, legal status, or charges. Republic TV spoke to the families of the detained Indian seafarers. The families claim that no consular access has been provided to any of the Indian crew members so far.
With regards to the response that you all have got so far, you are saying that it's almost been a month since the detention has actually taken place. Now the latest information coming in of the fact that the crew members have been taken into the prison. Have they actually told you what are the charges and what is your window of communication right now?
No, sir, nothing.
There are no charges. I mean, we cannot get. I have tried with various sources. Even the consulates or the ambassador, they are not aware of the charges yet. Even the master on board, they are not aware of the charges yet. They don't have any information what are the charges, why they have been taken to prison, no idea. And whoever you speak to, all of them are giving a vague reasons of taking them to prison. At the moment, nothing is, we really cannot understand what actually is the scenario. Of late, since the internet in Iran has been shut down, the communication is still like now we are not able to get in touch with the consulates or even the ambassador. So whatever information I'm getting from the master on board.
The incident comes amid ongoing protests and heightened tensions in Iran, raising serious concerns over the safety and rights of Indian seafarers. Families are now urging the government of India to ensure consular access, ascertain the well-being of the crew, and work towards their early release and safe return.
Viewers, tensions are high after the execution of a 26-year-old boy by Iran. US President Trump says Iran has halted killings and executions, holding off strikes, citing assurances he received. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says that there is no plans to execute protesters, while repeating claims that foreign elements are behind the unrest. Here's more into that developing story.
Iran death toll stands at 2,571. One 26-year-old has been executed, but there is a hint of thaw, at least for now. Trump claims Iran has stopped the executions.
We've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping, and it's stopped, and it's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset.
Meanwhile, Iran downplayed the number of deaths, saying it is not in thousands but in hundreds. He also urged Trump to engage diplomatically. Foreign Minister Araghchi says situation is under control. He also called this an Israeli plot. An Israeli plot, or Iran hiding the crackdown, or US prepping up to invade Iran? Middle East can blow up any time if diplomacy fails.
And viewers, polling for the BMC elections in Maharashtra has been going on. It's over now, and the voter turnout was quite decent. It looks like the BJP-led Mahayuti alliance is locked in a fierce contest with the reunited Thackeray cousins. A polling process, however, witnessed several issues with the voter list leading to diversion of voters to alternate polling booths. And various claims were also made over the indelible ink which was used during those voting processes. Here's a look at what unfolded on polling day.
These are the first BMC polls since the 2022 split in the Shiv Sena, when Eknath Shinde, now Deputy Chief Minister, broke away with a majority of the party's MLAs and allied with the BJP to become the Chief Minister. The polling saw a turnout of 41.08% till 3:30 p.m. Voting took place in 227 wards with approximately 1,700 candidates contesting. The stakes are high for the Thackeray brothers as well as the BJP Shiv Sena alliance following the ruling Mahayuti's resounding victory in last year's assembly elections. Various leaders came and casted their vote. Maharashtra CM Devendra Fadnavis came along with his family and casted his vote.
हमारी म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन का चुनाव हो रहा है। हमारे लोकतंत्र की एक ऐसी इकाई है
जिसको हम लोकतंत्र की मूलगामी आधारशिला कह सकते हैं। मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि मतदान ये केवल आपका अधिकार नहीं है, तो ये आपका कर्तव्य भी है। लोकतंत्र में अगर हम अच्छा शासन चाहते हैं तो हम मतदान के लिए जाएं, इसलिए मैंने भी मतदान किया है।
After casting his vote, Maharashtra's Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde stated that voter turnout in Mumbai had surpassed 25%, suggesting that residents are eager for change.
कॉन्फिडेंट है मैं, और मुझे डेवलपमेंट पे भरोसा है। लोग आरोप पे नहीं, टीका टिप्पणी पे नहीं, लोग डेवलपमेंट पे वोट करेंगे, डेवलपमेंट पे वोट करेंगे। इसलिए मुंबई में देखा है कि 25% से ज़्यादा वोटिंग हुई है। यह बदलाव का चिन्ह है। वो एलिगेशन करते हैं, अभी उनको पता चला है कि हम हारने वाले हैं। वो लोग अपोजिशन हारने का ग्राउंड तैयार कर रहा है, और इसलिए वो सब आरोप प्रत्यारोप कर रहे हैं। हमें उससे कुछ ये नहीं है, परहेज नहीं, वो अपना आरोप करें। लोग तो वोटिंग करेंगे विकास को, डेवलपमेंट को, और अपना भविष्य सुरक्षित करने के लिए।
Speaking to Republic, Rajya Sabha MP Milind Deora stated that this time the victory will be for the organization.
बहुत ही भारी बहुमत से महायुति जीतने जा रही है, और इसका एक साफ कारण है कि पिछले 25 वर्षों से भारत का नहीं, एशिया का सबसे अमीर, सबसे बड़ा महानगर पालिका का पूरी तरह से दुरुपयोग किया गया है, और लोग बदलाव चाहते हैं, परिवर्तन चाहते हैं। लोगों ने देखा है कि पिछले कई सालों में केंद्र सरकार के सहयोग से राज्य सरकार ने आम मुंबईकरों के लिए, उनके समस्याओं को दूर करने के लिए, ट्रांसपोर्ट की समस्या हो, गृह निर्माण की समस्या हो, उन समस्याओं को दूर करने के लिए स्टेट गवर्नमेंट पूरी तरह से उनके लिए उपलब्ध है, अवेलेबल है, काम कर रही है।
Meanwhile, the crucial BMC Polls in Mumbai was marred with allegations that the ink used on voters' fingers could be easily wiped off. Reacting to the allegations, MNS chief Raj Thackeray blamed the government and stated that the government can do anything to stay in power. Whereas the State Election Commission strongly dismissed concerns that removal of the ink could enable repeat voting. The State Election Commission has clarified that if any person is found trying to vote again after removing the ink mark, appropriate legal action will be taken against them. Priyanka Chaturvedi, Shiv Sena UBT MP, raised another issue and complained that her name was missing from the voter list at her usual booth. With polling now concluded amid a high-voltage political contest and a day marked by logistical issues and allegations, the focus now shifts to the counting of votes scheduled to begin tomorrow at 8 a.m. The results are expected to decide the future course of Mumbai's civic body and set the tone for Maharashtra's political landscape in the days ahead.
And viewers, for the first time, India's Army Day parade moved out of a cantonment and onto open city streets. Jaipur has turned into a battlefield showcase. BrahMos missiles, tanks, drones, robot dogs and Apache helicopters on display. And the first public appearance of the new Bhairav Battalion. The day also carried very deep emotion as heroes of Operation Sindoor were honoured and gallantry medals were awarded to the martyrs. Here is a report.
January 15, India's Army Day, commemorating the day India took command of its own army in 1949. This year it is historic. For the first time ever, the Army Day parade is being held outside a military cantonment on public city roads.
आर्मी डे की आप सबको हार्दिक बधाई। मैं आपके माध्यम से भारतीय सेना के सभी सैनिकों, हमारे सिविलियन कर्मचारियों, वेटरन्स, वीर नारियों और उनके परिवारजनों को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। जयपुर में सेना दिवस का आयोजन सेना को नागरिकों के और करीब लाने का प्रयास है। परेड के अलावा नो योर आर्मी मेला जैसे कार्यक्रमों ने इस संबंध को और मजबूत किया। आज शाम शौर्य संध्या में ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान सेना के साहस, अनुशासन और क्षमता का प्रदर्शन किया जाएगा।
Jaipur hosts the parade on Mahal Road, Jagatpura. Thousands line the streets to witness history. A 3-kilometer parade route, over 1.5 lakh spectators in attendance. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi and CDS General Anil Chauhan lead the ceremony. The parade is led by Gallantry Award winners, Ashok Chakra, Paramveer Chakra and Mahavir Chakra recipients. Valor leads the march, pride leads the parade. First public appearance of the newly raised Bhairav Battalion. Positioned between para-special forces and infantry, the Bhairav Battalion is built for quick, precise, offensive operations in modern warfare. Garhwal Scouts, Sikkim Scouts and Arunachal Scouts march past in full battle gear. The all-girls NCC contingent steals the spotlight, showcasing India's youth power. BrahMos missile system on public roads, India's supersonic strike capability on display. Pinaka rocket launcher follows, symbol of India's long-range firepower. Eyes shift to the sky. Apache attack helicopters perform aggressive maneuvers overhead, a demonstration of air dominance and combat readiness. Robot dogs lead the column, signaling the arrival of robotics in modern warfare. Combat drones displayed, highlighting India's growing drone warfare capability. The Integrated Drone Detection and Interdiction System IDDIS, capable of soft kill and hard kill of aerial threats. A glimpse of future warfare, smart, fast and technical.
And viewers, that's all we have on 6 stories that 6, but do not go anywhere. Next is Live and Breaking with my colleague Rakshita Mishra.
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ 8 मिनट में तैयार. क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर मसाला. केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो तुम्हारा हुआ रे. केसरिया से मन जोगी.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला. सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप.
प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला. Delicious, healthy, every day.
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force. So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So we don't want that to happen. There have been cases like this where President Obama totally backed down. But this is something pretty incredible that's happening in Iran. It's an amazing thing to watch. They've done a bad job. They've treated their people very badly, and now they're being paid back. So let's see what happens. We're watching it.
U.S. has proven its military capacity in Operation Midnight Hammer, where the United States military bombed Iran's nuclear facilities. U.S. B-2 stealth bombers, which flew a secretive and historic long-range mission, dropped 14 massive ordnance penetrators, also known as bunker buster bombs, on 3 critical Iranian nuclear sites: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. As the situation between the U.S. and Iran escalates further, Israel's official state aircraft, Wing of Zion, has departed from Nevatim Air Force Base. The aircraft, which contains a private office, a war room, and sophisticated defense systems, serves as the primary transport for the Prime Minister. India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar has also received a call from Iranian Foreign Minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi. The foreign ministers discussed the evolving situation in and around Iran. The protests began as demonstrations in Tehran's bazaars over rampant inflation. The Iranian rial surged to $1 million against the US dollar, marking a significant devaluation of the national currency in a single day. The protests morphed into an uprising against the Khamenei regime.
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा। इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Iran is boiling. Iranians are protesting against the Khamenei regime. U.S. President Donald Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and take over institutions, and has assured them that help is on the way.
Well, no, they're starting to, it looks like, and there seem to be some people killed that aren't supposed to be killed. These are violent, if you call them leaders, I don't know if they're leaders or just they rule through violence. But we're looking at it very seriously. The military is looking at it, and we're looking at some very strong options. We'll make a determination. Well, if they do that, we'll consider things targets that they wouldn't believe. If they do that, we will hit them at levels that they've never been hit before. They won't even believe it. I have options that are so strong. So, I mean, if they did that, it'll be met with a very, very powerful force. So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So we don't want that to happen. There have been cases like this where
Viewers, top headlines tracking right now. Mamata Banerjee insults forces, calls army commandant is doing SIR and BJP work.
जंगल राज का प्रतीक कौन? अराजकता की मूर्ति, जंगल राज का प्रतीक ममता बनर्जी। और बड़े दुख से कहना पड़ता है, ये वो व्यक्ति है जो संविधान की शपथ लेता है।
BJP attacks Mamata government after a Supreme Court order says CM symbol of Jungle Raj, idol of anarchy. After hygiene, Rao World number 2 says polluted Delhi unfit for Badminton Championship. Controversy over summons to late Air India pilot's brother and Air India crash investigation. Top pilot's body calls out the government. Voting across 29 municipal corporations is being held across Maharashtra. Total of 3.48 crore voters have voted till 5:30 p.m. We're live and breaking. I'm Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest coming in. In view of the evolving situation in Iran, MEA has said that they will be bringing back those stranded Indians, nationals. MEA is making preparations to facilitate return of Indian nationals who wish to travel back to India. This is coming as the situation in Iran has become very, very tense. Many Indians are stranded, and MEA has already sent advisory to these Indians to not travel to Iran, and if they are in Iran, they should come back to the country as soon as possible. Now, the MEA advisory has already been out. They have said in view of the ongoing developments in Iran, Indian nationals are once again strongly advised to avoid travel to the Islamic Republic of Iran until further notice. This is the advisory which has been put out, and MEA is making preparations to bring them back. All right, let's go straight across to our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, is joining. Abhishek, we see that many Indians have been advised not to travel to Iran, and if they are there, they have to come back. MEA has said they will facilitate the return of the Indian nationals who are stranded.
Well, you see, first up, this is an evidence, if one was needed, that the situation is going downhill insofar as the Iran or evolving Iran situation is concerned. It's going downhill, and it seems our agencies have assessed that we really need to evacuate all Indian nationals given the possibility of military action from the United States. So we need to bring them out. Like it happened in the case of Ukraine with Operation Ganga, or in the case of Afghanistan with Operation Devi Shakti, or even in the case of the Iran-Israel conflict, the last round of which saw Operation Sindhu, with which India evacuated all its nationals from these nations respectively. I think similarly, the Ministry of External Affairs is coordinating with other agencies, essentially the Ministry of Defense, and evacuate a few hundred of citizens who are stuck in various parts of Iran, essentially Tehran. Remember, there have been people-to-people ties and also trade relationship existing, howsoever minuscule. So the Ministry of External Affairs is expecting that they might need anything between 4 to 5 flights, maybe a few more, to evacuate the Indians who are stuck in Iran. And the first of those evacuation flights might be beginning tomorrow, is what we are getting to here.
All right, thank you for getting us all those details. Abhishek getting us top updates. I really want to move ahead to some of the other stories tracking. Now, a lot of concerns, viewers, have been raised over facilities at Delhi's Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium during the India Open Badminton tournament after players and spectators reported unsanitary conditions, unclean conditions, frequent monkey intrusions. Several videos shared on social media showed monkeys roaming inside the spectator gallery, particularly the gold stand, while players complained of pigeon droppings and poor hygiene within the venue. Players have claimed that the conditions were unfit for an international tournament. The controversy has snowballed after the world number 2 withdrew from the event, citing Delhi's pollution and overall environment as absolutely unsuitable for any kind of games to be happening. All right, let's go straight across to our guest joining us. Shekhar Vijayan, sports journalist, is joining us on Republic TV. Thank you for joining us here, Mr. Vijayan. This is quite embarrassing, honestly, because Indira Gandhi Stadium, Delhi being the national capital of India, we expect world-class standard. What do you think is really going wrong here?
I think everything is going wrong here. If you look at the kind of complaints which has come in, we've got players who have put their Instagram stories. They haven't even taken a fine of $5,000 saying, they don't want to, even play in Delhi because of the weather conditions, because of how bad the conditions are. The second thing is, when you have a global championship like this, demands global standards. And the fact is, if India is, preparing for the Olympics, if you're talking about, hosting championships like this in the future, I think this is a total downer. This is not the way infrastructure should be. You should not have players coming and telling us that the situation is so bad. The players, the main job is to focus on winning on the field, or in the badminton court. If they have the time to tell us, the India or the authorities, that there is a big problem here in terms of bird poo, or in terms of monkeys coming and watching, or in terms of the weather conditions, in terms of the ground not being clean, then there is a big problem. There's a big difference. There's a big lacuna between what we think is an Olympic dream with respect to our ground reality. And there's a big difference. And I think, India really needs to take charge of this. Authorities, the government really needs to be responsible here. Like they say, with great power comes great responsibility. It's not just about getting these, championships on board. It's also about making sure that the players are well taken care of on the field. It's also very important to make sure that, our authorities, our government authorities, people at the top don't get defensive about this. Of late, we have noticed whenever somebody points a finger, whenever somebody gives them feedback, they tend to get very defensive about it. There's no reason to get defensive. It's about feedback. Take the feedback in the right spirit and keep moving forward. I think that is going to be very important. The second thing is, if India is looking at hosting world championships in the future, it's very important for India to be infrastructure ready. Not just in terms of player ready, but also in terms of infrastructure, also in terms of making sure that the players who come in, the world-class players who come in,
Mr. Vijayan, the Badminton Association of India Secretary General Sanjay Mishra has claimed the venue was pigeon-free, and you were saying that it's time to take accountability. But, however, he's not really taking accountability here. He's responding to the criticism, but he's not giving a solution, and a solution is what we want.
Absolutely. Shivangi, that's exactly the point I say. There's nobody who's taking accountability for this. There's nobody taking responsibility for this. Where does the buck really stop? Do we have any one of them even coming and answering this question? It's so embarrassing that you have, athletes like the world number 3 putting out information out on the internet, out on Instagram, or you have Mia who's talking about, about what she feels. And there is nobody from the government who's coming in and taking charge and saying, feedback taken in the right spirit, we move on. I don't think they should take it personally. The fact is, if there is feedback which is given, work on it and move on. If India needs to host championships like this in the future, we're going to have a badminton world championship in August. This is the best dress rehearsal for it. If we're not ready now, then how are we going to be ready in the future? I think India really needs to take note of this. The government, the machinery, the people who administer, they need to understand that the internet is such a interesting medium because people will get information whether India is doing well or whether India is doing bad. Now, if you have a situation where if this is how it is, as you see, there's a monkey right there in the state.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for putting out your viewpoint there, Republic TV. I'll have to move ahead to some of the other stories you're tracking. Viewers, after a barrage of obscene pictures deluded X social media with a grok feature that edited real photos upon request to take down clothes of real people, an update is finally here to tackle the huge menace. Elon Musk's AI model Grok will absolutely no longer be able to edit photos of real people to show them in revealing clothes. Here's a report on the development.
Elon Musk's Grok AI will no longer edit photos of real people to show them in revealing clothing. X said that technological measures will prevent Grok account from allowing the editing of images and bar it from creating obscene images. With this, Grok will no longer be able to edit photos of real people to depict them in revealing clothing following the spread of sexualized AI deepfakes. This progress comes after the Ministry of Information Technology issued a notice to X asking it to remove obscene content from its platform. It had given the platform to comply with India's statutory obligations within 72 hours. In response, the social media platform had removed approximately 3,500 pieces of content and deleted over 600 accounts.
And viewers, the big story we're tracking today was that West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee triggered a political storm after alleging that an army commandant posted at Fort William was doing SIR and BJP work. Now, the BJP has accused her of insulting the armed forces and dragging the Indian army into partisan politics ahead of elections. So this is what we see right now, viewers, where Mamata Banerjee has made that statement. Controversial remark. Let's play it out.
বর্ডারের দায়িত্বে কে বিএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, কয়লার দায়িত্বে কে সিআইএসএফ সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, প্লেনে কে আসছে বাইরের লোক তার দায়িত্বে কে কাস্টমস কার হাতে, এভিয়েশন কার হাতে, রেল কার হাতে, সব সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, সিআরপিএফ কার হাতে সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট, আর্মিও তোমার হাতে সেন্ট্রাল গভর্নমেন্ট। আমি জীবনে দেখিনি, এমনকি আমার কাছে একটা খবর এসছে কদিন আগে আপনাদের সাংবাদিকদের আর্মি অফিস থেকে কাউকে কাউকে ইনভাইট করা হয়েছিল জাস্ট টু টক। আমি এর মধ্যে কোনো ভুল দেখি না, আমি ওদের সম্মান করি, আমি সব ফোর্সকেই, কিন্তু একটা রিকোয়েস্ট করব, আমার কাছে খবর আছে ফোর্ট উইলিয়ামে একজন কমান্ড্যান্ট এসআইআর এর কাজ করছে এবং বিজেপি করছে, বসে পার্টি অফিসের কাজ করছেন। প্লিজ আপনাদের কাছে হাত জোড় করে রিকোয়েস্ট করব, এটা করতে যাবেন না। যারা সত্যিকারের চোর ডাকাত, ধরুন কটা কেস হয়েছে বিজেপির, খুনি, ডাকাত, ধর্ষককারী, হত্যাকারী, হাওলাকারী, কটা কেস হয়েছে?
And viewers, let's move ahead right now to some of the other stories we're tracking. And now the ED had claimed there was chaos at the Calcutta High Court, and now the ED has said they have proof. WhatsApp chats have been accessed by Republic TV, and in those chats, we see that these chats show in which lawyers are purportedly being asked to assemble in the courtroom. On Jan 9, the Calcutta High Court was hearing 2 sets of petitions on the raids. In this petition, the ED has alleged West Bengal CM and TMC chairperson Mamata Banerjee had misused her constitutional post by hindering officials who were doing their duty during raids at the I-PAC office and the house of its co-founder Pratik Jain. That the TMC and Jain had filed counter pleas. We are getting some more reactions coming in. BJP has hit out at the TMC, accusing it of undermining the democratic system of the country. BJP has accused TMC chief and the CM, Mamata Banerjee, of alleged interference during the ED's raid at the office of political consultancy firm I-PAC in connection with the money laundering case. Let's play it out for you viewers.
गुंडागर्दी देखिए, हमारे देश की संवैधानिक उच्च न्यायालय को गुंडों से डराने का प्रयास करते हैं और जो बात सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने संज्ञान ली, उच्च न्यायालय क्या कहता है सुनिए, और इसीलिए पुनः कहूंगा, ये ममता बनर्जी जंगल राज का प्रतीक है, अराजकता की मूर्ति है, और जंगल राज कैसा होता है, बिल्कुल ममता राज जैसा होता है। गुंडागर्दी देखिए, हमारे देश की संवैधानिक उच्च न्यायालय को गुंडों से डराने का प्रयास करते हैं और जो बात सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने संज्ञान ली, उच्च न्यायालय क्या कहता है सुनिए, और इसीलिए पुनः कहूंगा, ये ममता बनर्जी जंगल राज का प्रतीक है, अराजकता की मूर्ति है, और जंगल राज कैसा होता है, बिल्कुल ममता राज जैसा होता है।
And viewers, for the first time, India's Army Day Parade moved out of a cantonment and onto open city streets. Jaipur turned into a battlefield showcase with the BrahMos missile, tanks, drones, robots, dogs and Apache helicopters on display. And the first public appearance of the new Bhairav Battalion. The day also carried deep emotion as heroes of Operation Sindoor were honored and gallantry medals were awarded to the martyrs. Here's a report.
India's Army Day, commemorating the day India took command of its own army in 1949. This year it is historic. For the first time ever, the Army Day Parade is being held outside a military cantonment on public city roads.
आर्मी डे की आप सबको हार्दिक बधाई। मैं आपके माध्यम से भारतीय सेना के सभी सैनिकों, हमारे सिविलियन कर्मचारियों, वेटरन्स, वीर नारियों और उनके परिवारजनों को हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। जयपुर में सेना दिवस का आयोजन सेना को नागरिकों के और करीब लाने का प्रयास है। परेड के अलावा नो योर आर्मी मेला जैसे कार्यक्रमों ने इस संबंध को और मजबूत किया। आज शाम शौर्य संध्या में ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान सेना के साहस, अनुशासन और क्षमता का प्रदर्शन किया जाएगा।
Jaipur hosts the parade on Mahal Road, Jagatpura. Thousands line the streets to witness history. A 3-kilometer parade route, over 1.5 lakh spectators in attendance. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi and CDS General Anil Chauhan lead the ceremony. The parade is led by Gallantry Award winners, Ashok Chakra, Paramveer Chakra and Mahavir Chakra recipients. Valor leads the march. Pride leads the parade. First public appearance of the newly raised Bhairav Battalion. Positioned between para-special forces and infantry, the Bhairav Battalion is built for quick, precise, offensive operations in modern warfare. Garhwal Scouts, Sikkim Scouts and Arunachal Scouts march past in full battle gear. The all-girls NCC contingent steals the spotlight, showcasing India's youth power. BrahMos missile system on public roads. India's supersonic strike capability on display. Pinaka rocket launcher follows, symbol of India's long-range firepower. Eyes shift to the sky. Apache attack helicopters perform aggressive maneuvers overhead. A demonstration of air dominance and combat readiness.
Getting you some breaking news coming in, viewers. Air India A350 aircraft, while operating a flight, Air India Delhi to New York, was involved in an air turn back due to Iranian airspace closure. Aircraft landed safely at runway 28 in Delhi, and it had to turn back. The Air India flight had to turn back. Air India flight engine damaged post landing in Delhi. So we have put that picture out for you. During taxi to apron at taxiway, The engine ingested a cargo container, causing a lot of damage to the engine, number 2 engine. The incident occurred early in the morning. As per information, the visibility at the time of incident was quite marginal. The investigation in the beginning stages has revealed that a BWFS tug transporting few containers to baggage makeup area of Terminal 3 crossed this intersection while on the vehicular lane. And during the crossing, one of the containers toppled onto the taxiway intersection. So this is the engine which was damaged. So we have put that out for you. This is the Air India engine which was damaged post-landing in Delhi. And we're also getting some more updates coming in because the investigation would be continuing in this case. Further investigation is being carried out by DGCA. This is what the Directorate General of Civil Aviation has said. So we have got those pictures. That is the Air India engine which was damaged. This is the Air India aircraft A350 VTGRB while operating flight Air India 101 Delhi to New York was involved in air turn back due to Iranian airspace closure. Aircraft landed safely at runway 28 in Delhi. These exclusive pictures which are coming in of this flight. We'll put out the flight. Okay, then we have a picture of the flight as well. We have the picture of the Air India flight as well, whose engine has been damaged. The investigation, of course, is continuing in this case because the Director General of Civil Aviation has put a statement out saying that investigation will be carried out by the DGCA to really understand, what